countryside drive and trekking at Urbion's Black Lagoon. Travel. Encouraging thoughts. Sensory tools for meditation, part 62. Sergi Torres.
Your idea that you cannot handle one more day of your daily routine is just a thought.
A thought that comes from your internal processing. The reality is that you are handling life okay right now. That is why you are alive. The suffering part is your idea. You have created this idea of suffering. Change your relationship with being stuck.
What if you allowed being stuck to be okay?
When you stop making it wrong, it stops feeling so bad. Be less critical about having anxiety. Recognize anxiety as a natural experience when we do something new. We try to protect ourselves from the uncertainty of death. However, it is best to accept the open-ended nature of life. Mind of basic goodness. It means that you can go through the world without fixed ideas and be open and curious. Think about all situations as unsolvable. The more you hang to fixed ideas, the more emotional reactivity and discomfort you will feel when there is no match.
Think about all situations as unsolvable.
You have many tools to work with in any situation. Tools like opening spaces, unfixing. Our DNA is programmed to seek resolution, a world without embarrassment. However, we need to go back to the middle way, an open state with paradox and ambiguity. Sergi Torres. You have to live vividly the current situation, accepting it, instead of telling yourself that it is a pain. Tell yourself this experience is worthy of living. Hannibal Gonzalez. It's not me. When we feel bad, we may think that there are no thoughts. However, thoughts are always there. We are usually telling ourselves something about what we are experiencing. For example, I can't stand feeling like this. I can't make it. I am not important. Nobody cares. It may help to write these phrases down on paper. We realize how many times we discourage ourselves internally. Am I treating myself the way life unfairly treated me when I was younger? We treat ourselves the way those important figures treated us. We have been carrying that model with us. We now stop that. Notice and stop harmful things you say to yourself.
I have to tell myself, I will be able to deal with this.
I will be able to deal with this. With time everything passes, we can move forward. We deserve to feel good. If we want to get better, it's important to learn to say to ourselves things that actually make us feel better. It is not important if you don't believe it because you are used to telling yourself horrible things.
It is not important if you don't believe it.
With time, the positive will sound more natural. Remember, you are able, because you have come this far on your own. Because my parents were not supportive of me, I started to believe I'm in danger. A habit. But now when we are not in danger, remind yourself that feeling fear is not equal to being in danger. Sergi Torres, tell yourself I exist because of life. Sergi Torres, the sensation that I cannot go on with this is false. Yes, you can go on because I am here in the present and I haven't died. The I'm suffering part is a thought you have created. This thought has come out after you have processed it. You have created this idea. You have created the idea of suffering. The suffering comes from believing in unhelpful thoughts. Stop it. Stop. Believing in thoughts causes suffering. Byron Katie. I should be nicer to myself. That means I must not torture myself with harmful thoughts. You have to tell yourself that you are convinced that you are able to stand up, as opposed to having doubts. Outside my life there are no solutions. The problem is when you have decided not to live your experience fully, telling yourself there is something better. It is difficult to be constantly trying to evade our reality instead of living it. There are children playing in shanty towns that are smiling. If a child in the developed world had to play in the same conditions, we would decide to be unhappy because we deserve something better. Sergi Torres, we have to try to recognize that ideas exist in the universe, and then when we think of these ideas we are drowning them in our filters and habits. It will be helpful to us to separate the two. Ask yourself, how was this concept in the universe before I processed it? Watching the thinker. Notice repetitive thoughts with sad endings. You will soon realize there is the voice in your head, and here I am watching it from the distance.
توی خواب شبا میبینم
Byron Katie teaches a method of self-inquiry. She says, "I discovered that when I believed my thoughts, I suffered, but that when I didn't believe them, I didn't suffer, and that this is true for every human being." Freedom is as simple as that. I found that suffering is optional. I found a joy within me that has never disappeared, not for a single moment. Byron Katie calls her method of self-inquiry the work. The work is a way of identifying and questioning any stressful thought. It consists of 4 questions and a turnaround. This is a way of experiencing the opposite of what you believe. The 4 questions are: 1. Is it true? 2. Can you absolutely know that it's true? 3. How do you react? What happens when you believe that thought? And 4. Who would you be without the thought? The turnaround involves considering the thought in a reversed form, changing subject and object, changing yes and no, or changing it to be self-referential. For example, for the thought, "Life treats me bad," the turnarounds could include, "I should see life more as a friend. I should treat myself better."
Am I letting the fear of X actually control me?
I can begin to let these thoughts go. The thought is the biggest problem, and the thought is in my hands to control. The situation, others may have it too. There's a notion that nothing you sense is perfect. If the actuality can never be perfect, drop an emotional stance of expecting things to be perfect. Say yes to it even if it's flawed. Osho, there are no goals in life, no purpose. The goal is in the future. I'm here. The mind that is goal-oriented is in the future. We will never meet. Drop the goal-oriented mind. Drop it. Enlightenment is not a search. It is not a goal. We are already enlightened. It is already the nature of life. Nothing needs to be added or improved. Life cannot have a purpose. Life is the purpose. Otherwise, you will be in an infinite loop. One purpose would lead to another purpose. Osho. Just play. Life is a play. Just that. The moment you are ready to play, you are enlightened. Don't try so hard. Don't open the door of desire. If in the world you desire money, even if you get, you are defeated. If you don't get, you are also defeated. Then you realize the desire is rubbish. When one realizes that all goals are useless, you realize there is nothing to do. When there is nothing to do, you can relax. With nothing to do, the ego disappears. Relax. Relax. Drop the fear.